And some of you are working witchcraft against yourself. I don't know. I can't do it, Lord. It's too hard. Lord, I don't know. I'm just sick. You ain't nothing but a witch to yourself. You need to shut your mouth and talk like the living God. For God I live, for God I die. I ain't dying behind no witchcraft or foolishness. I'm going to live for the living God. I'm living because, you say, I'm living to live again. No, I'm living now. I'm already living in the future. I'm already living in the future. I may be here now, but I'm getting my information from the future. This Bible is an awesome book. This book is a book of power and will tell you how to get it done now, but it's an eternal book. And here we are thinking, well, I'm only here for a short time. My body's only here for a short time. My spirit came from somewhere else. And see, because you're so plugged into your body, you can't get what your spirit's really trying to tell you. Because your body short circuits. The Bible tells you, call those things that be not, as though they were. He said, these light afflictions are but for a moment. But what do you say? As soon as an affliction comes, oh, Lord, have mercy. Lord, my back is killing me. You see, that's your natural state. My eternal state said this is a light affliction. And it's only for a moment. So this thing may be hitting me, but it's light. You say, oh, God, I cannot take it. Yes, you can. You told that lie last month, said you couldn't take it. And you're here. 2016. You lied all last year. Said, Lord, I can't take another day of this. And the next day you were taking another day of it. And you lied in 2015. Now you're coming to 2016. You're starting to lie again. I ain't lying about nothing in this year. Whatever God said is what I'm going to say. Whatever Yahweh said is what I'm going to say. What he said do is what I'm going to do. For Yahweh I live. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all got so much bitterness, so much anger and hatred in you that you spread that stuff to other folk. It's witchcraft, whether you want to believe it or not. You're angry. That's why some of you sisters don't need to be hanging with some sisters that's done been hurt and beat up by a man and don't know how to forgive him. Because they're going to impart that mess to you. Then all of a sudden you looking at your man funny. Well, how come you do that? He's been doing it for 20 years, but you've been hanging around Sister Stupid. And she got you acting like a fool. And now your man like, what is wrong with her? Then here come little Miss Cutie, and she comes along acting the right way, and all of a sudden his attention is diverted because you did that by hanging around that fool. See, we don't understand eternal stuff. You better leave these people alone. Don't you know a lot of folk, they ain't thinking about you getting where you need to get to? You know what? I told my children, that's when y'all get married, I said, your mom and daddy ain't going to bother you. I said, if you need me, you come. My children come by the house, I don't be giving them a whole lot of advice. If I didn't teach them and train them while they were home to know how to deal with that stuff, they had a good example of their mom and their daddy. They didn't see us fussing and fighting and acting the fool. They didn't see us running and getting mad and cussing each other out. They didn't see me every 3 or 4 days getting up and leaving. They didn't see her gone. They didn't see any of that. They had good examples. So I said, if they want something from me, they can come ask me. But I showed them how to live enough. They ought to be able to live by this. And see, I ain't going to do that. Because you know why? When I start getting all up in that stuff, I'm now putting things in the covenant based on my emotions because that's my child that I should have put into the thing before they ever got married. Now what I'm doing, I'm becoming a surrogate husband when I'm supposed to be the father. That's why if you don't raise that child right, they don't know how to act. Then here they come to you and then you saying stuff, well, if I were you, I'd leave him. Well, see, you ain't got no business in there. Because your mess was wrong to start with. You did them are crazy, you still don't know what you're doing. And you looking at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Because some of y'all know you got some crazy mamas and daddies. Don't know what they're doing. They ain't even have no business having you. And see, here's another problem you got. Because I understand what it means to be a man and a father and a husband and a daddy and a brother. You don't understand that, so you think my behavior is weird because your stuff has been so jacked up because you don't know the whole equation. That's right. That's right. So now you think, well, why would he say that? You've never been through the whole equation. You can't do the problem. You can't work the problem. So how the devil you know what's supposed to be in it when you can't even work the problem? You ain't never been in quantum physics. You have never done calculus. I have been through the whole ball of wax as a man. That's right. That's right. So since I've worked the whole problem and you haven't, how in the world you gonna know what I know? That's right. That's you see, we're crazy. I told you Babylon got you messed up. Don't know what you're doing. And then we got little goofy children. Get mad with their mom and daddy because mom and daddy see something in that thing they brought home. And mom and daddy go, that ain't the one. That ain't it. Mom and daddy have worked the whole math problem. And you still got that 2 + 2 is 4. And all you thinking about is how she looked and how it feels when you get on her. That's all you see. Mom and daddy done seen all the way through that thing and see the other side of it and say it may work for a few years, but there's going to come a point. Oh, my. But see, you don't want to hear people with wisdom. You want to hear some of this stupid, jacked up stuff that comes off the talk. You want to hear them goofy, dumb women. And I go to a restaurant every now and then, and they'll have The View on. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And you watching The View, and that's messing with your point of view. Your viewing is off. You don't even see right. And I'm trying to tell you what the kingdom says, which is eternal, and you done listen to a bunch of idiots on that TV, done been programmed by the devil and got you going out the world backwards. I'm like, Lord, if we don't get some help, he said, son, if you don't preach the snot out these folk, he said, I don't need you if you can't tell them the truth. He said, they're not thinking. He said, Babylon has gotten their minds. He said, they're totally dumbed down. Isaiah said in Isaiah chapter 1, he said, verse 5, he said, why should ye be stricken anymore? He asked the question. He said, you're already in trouble. You can't see right, can't think right, you can't behave right. Your money's funny, your change is strange, nothing is working for you. And he said, even if you do get it to work, you go home, you have no peace. You got your bills paid, but then you and her fussing and fighting. And you say, well, Lord, if I just had enough money, I'd be happy. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Money is one of those things that help make you happy. But if you don't have this internal thing right inside of you, I'm happy with it, without it, expecting it, not expecting it. I'm happy if I don't know where it's coming from. I'm in the same place because I'm in a connection with my God, and I know he's going to meet all of my needs. So I'm not going to be stricken anymore with Babylonian ignorance. And I'm telling you, you are a Hebrew. I'm going to tell you, I don't care whether you like it or not. You're a Hebrew Israelite. This book was written about you. It was. And see, I'm trying to tell black folk, I don't care what you think. You see, I told you how we got in such trouble. Our ancestors, my mama, was a prayer warrior of extraordinary proportions. Yes, she was. And I got a lot of my ability to pray from her. And see, she was one of those, because you didn't know the Lord, you'd be upset with her, because she'd be down there in the room praying and calling on the name of Jesus. Lord, save that boy. You trying to watch TV and you saying, I wish she shut up. And see, that's where you are right now. That's what was given to us. But then what we did, we got in the charismatic renewal that came out of the white church. And what they did, they put some technical stuff in place, which was good stuff. But we had a deep spiritual something that came out of a deep place in us. That's where our people had touched that relationship they had with God 3,000 years ago. And that seed was stirred up in them. They stirred it up, but we didn't know how to water it. You know what we did? We hooked up with the charismatic and said, oh, I'm a king's kid. I can name it. I can claim it. I can believe it. I can receive it. Yeah, your white brother could, because he had the money to pay for it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You didn't. He owned the McDonald's. You working in the McDonald's. Then you go to another white brother's car lot, and you walking around an $80,000 Mercedes making $5 an hour. I claim this car in Jesus' name. What you need to claim is a $50 an hour job and a big house. And you riding around looking good, like the old preachers used to say, said a Negro will buy a BMW and park it up under a rented tree. He won't even own what he's parking it under. He rents the tree. All right. You see, we lost it. Rather than take that deep wellspring our ancestors had found, merge it with technical stuff that our European brother had found, we left all of this. Oh, it ain't take all that. Our ancestors, you see, you young black folk don't even want to know where we came from. I won't back there in slavery. I don't want to hear nothing about no slavery. That's because Babylon got you fooled. The Bible told Israel, he said, you set these stones up, and he said, when they ask you in the future, what does that mean? When your children ask, said, you tell them, this is what Yahweh did for us. This is where we came from. We don't even know. The only black people you know about is Martin Luther King. You know nothing about Imhotep, Hippocrates, who is supposed to be the father of medicine. If you read his ancient works, he tells you. I didn't come up with any of this on my own. I went to Africa. I went down to Egypt, and a little short black man named Asclepius, he taught me everything I know. But see, Babylon won't tell you that. So you don't know that there's a history much further than Martin Luther King. And you don't even want to know it. Now, why is it I say something like that? Somebody will hear this tape. Oh, he's a racist. No, you're a racist for not wanting to hear about other races. Now, if all I want to hear about is just what black folk done, I'm a racist. I know the history of whites, blacks, reds, yellows. I've studied everybody's history. So I'm fine with everybody. But see, this is a lie we live in now. And people, religious black folk, are scared to death of me. They are. Because they're scared that something's going to happen to them because they've been around a man who's not afraid to know something. You see, they love ignorance. I'm not going to be ignorant. I'm trying to be less ignorant tomorrow than I am today.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I want to know as much as I can know. I'm going to study, research. I'm going to cry out to the living God because I want to know how this thing works because I've got children in Babylon, and I want to make sure that, listen, you don't have to go out there and tell everybody that they treated you wrong and they're going to hell. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying have enough information that when they start to play the game, you stand there and smile and say, yeah, I really know. This ain't it. All I'm saying is don't continue to be suckered because you don't have any information. That's all I'm saying. But see, we can't even take that. I tell you what, I would go there to Apostle Jacob, but he talk about black folk, white folk. Are you crazy, Negro? There are black folk and white folk everywhere. The news media talks about black folk and white folk. The city of Goldsboro trying to figure out how to deal with the race problem. They just won't call the right people.
That's right. That's right.
I can tell them what the deal is, but see, they don't want to talk to somebody who has some information and can tell the truth because they may find out they're not all that. And what they want, deal with the race problem, let me stay up here, you stay down here, but pacify you down here.
That's right.
And fix me so I don't keep saying what I'm doing like I used to, but I still want to stay up here and you stay down there. I still want to keep this gap. I'm saying now we got to close the gap. We got to get rid of this mess and understand that I am a man full of the living God, full of power, just like you. So you don't want me to be, but you want to stay. You want to be, but you don't want me to be. You see, we can't fix anything until we stop lying. We can't. All we're going to do is keep going around the mulberry bush. I've been here 63 years. I've seen these games played over and over and over and over. Babylon fixes nothing. Does not. And if you got a Babylonian mindset, you won't fix anything. You know what you'll do? You'll keep putting Band-Aids on it. You'll keep putting a little salve on it. You'll keep saying it's going to be all right. No, I'm not going to say it's going to be all right until we get in it and make it all right. I want you to understand some things don't go away. They hide and wait for another opportunity to come out the closet. Things don't go away. The termites do not go away. You got to deal with the termites. You can not pretend stuff is not going on. Well, I'm just going to pretend that we're not having problems. I'm not. No. I asked my wife. I said, "Girl, what's wrong?" I said, "Come on, talk to me. Talk to me." And Thursday night. Now, I knew for sure, okay, Sister Girl delivered because I was such a strong man because of my own anger that was inside of me because of the system I lived in. I had her up under the spirit of fear. And when she said what she said, I was just as at peace. I'm like, God, she is free. Because there was a time she went to dad said anything or challenged anything I said. And I was fine with it because I saw something that I needed to see, and she was right. She was right. And I'm thankful for that. Now, you can't achieve what you need to achieve as long as you think you're going to either strong arm her or you're going to be sexualized or sexual to him. Both of you playing a game.
That's right.
You using sex to get what you want. Sex is supposed to be a mutual exchange of deep affection between two people. But you're going to use sex so you can get what you want from me rather than just have the kind of relationship that I just give it to you because of the relationship I have with you. See? You don't need to be married to be playing those games. And then because she's always doing something she's got no business doing, then you got to be the Incredible Hulk to make her settle down. Both of you playing comic strip games. That's right. See, I'm telling you, from having worked the whole math problem, how to fix this stuff. But see, that's not what we like to hear. And I hate it, but if you're going to come here, you're going to keep hearing what I say. Now, either I'm going to clear the house out, and I go on and get on Social Security and live the best I can. Gonna be one of them. Because I can't play no more games, Pastor Burns. I can't do that. It's too late. This is 2016. This stuff is crazy. And we think that it's okay to come to church and just, oh, I tell you what, there was a singing choir. They ain't right, and you ain't right for enjoying folk that ain't right. They were in the same liquor house you were last night, or same crack house. I used to play for churches. Me and some of the deacons would be in the liquor house on Saturday night. I'd go and play for him. That won't neither one of us worth 5 cents, but he was the deacon. They knew I was a sinner. And I'd come in to get on that Hammond organ, and see, that was when I played every day. Oh, and I could make that thing talk. I'd have these folk, they'd be dancing off of music I played in the club the night before. These black folk had no clue. I'd be in there killing it, and they just dancing, hollering, screaming. And I'm thinking, look at these hypocrites. I just played this rhythm in the club. I played a little piece of band. I played this rhythm in the club last night. I had folk on the floor drunk, smoking weed. I had liquor on the piano, and I'm sitting up there drinking and playing. Drink my last beer at 4 or 5 o'clock. Come home and go to church. And at 11 o'clock, I'm playing Up a Storm. And they just hollering, oh, Jesus. And I'm like, don't you know who you got on this organ? Ain't discern nothing. That's why you can't play those games with me. I know what this is. I have already worked the math problem. And you still down there, like my little grandboys, 2 plus 2 is 4. That's where you at. I've gone into calculus, baby. I'm on the other side. And you back here playing these sandbox games. And I'm saying, it's time for you to stop that. It's time for you to get your head straight. Let me read a few more of these. Lord have mercy. I read this Bible, and I try to preach stuff that I put together. But the Holy Spirit, it's like I've studied it, I put it together, but then he just takes it and works it differently when I get up here. It won't come out the way I have envisioned it. And it won't do that because he knows what you need when you need it. And he knows how to break through to you. And when he breaks through, that's what he wants. He wants you to get it. He doesn't want you to see how intelligent I am, how erudite I am. He's not looking for that. I'm acting just like one of your crazy uncles when y'all get drunk around Christmas. Because you know you got one. You got a crazy uncle, he get drunk, he say anything. Stop doing anything. And some of y'all, when y'all get drunk, you do the same thing. Some of y'all, you that crazy uncle. Now y'all understand this because you can relate to your crazy family. He said, why should you be stricken anymore? Why do you keep letting this thing beat you down? Don't you understand how to get out of it? Then what he said, yet ye will revolt more and more. He said, why do you keep revolting? Why do you keep pushing against what you know is there to liberate you? He said, you're intelligent. I called you. I trained you. I put you in a particular place so you could be the head and not the tail. Now, if you're the head, that means that you really got more sense than other folk. But because you keep revolting, every time you revolt, you move further and further to the tail of the beast. Every time you revolt. I said, now, I am not revolting. Whatever you say to me, Lord, I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust in you until I die. I'm going to trust what you say. I'm going to do it like you said it. The Lord told me, he said, son, he said, there's some things you don't trust me in. And, you know, I'm too old to be lying to him. I'm sure. I know that's your voice, so I know that it's true. Help me see what it is. He said, well, there are things that you want to keep doing the way you've always done because they're comfortable to you, and they make people more comfortable with you. The things you do, they're comfortable to you, and people, they become more comfortable with you. He said, because you really don't want to stir up any trouble or animosity. He said, you don't trust me to take care of you in those things. You don't believe that I will. He said, what you have gone back to doing is trying to dress things nicely for folk. And he said, when you're dealing with your folk, he said, if you could be in their homes, in their cars, and hear how they talk, how they cuss each other out, he said, they know what you're talking about when you say what you... He said, God, they mean people. He said, they got attitudes. He said, they can't say nothing to each other. What you say that for? Well, honey, all I said was that the Grits had 2 more lunch today than they did yesterday. That's all I said. Well, fix your own then, with your complaining self. You just need to be thankful I'm here to fix what I can fix. Sweetheart, would you mind washing my car? I don't feel like washing no car today. Y'all not drove it when it was raining. So what you want me to do, walk in the rain? You see, we don't have relationships that amount to anything. We don't. And we just don't. We revolt. I told my wife, I said, no, baby, I can't be going back in that direction. I've got to go further in this direction because I serve a God that said, I'm going to take and bear the sins and infirmities of other people. He said, I'm going to take what somebody else really could not bear, and I'm going to take it for them. And when they get to where they can handle some stuff, I'll release some stuff back to them. You see, that's how you get food. The Lord takes stuff off of you when you can't handle it. Then when you get strong enough, then it starts coming back. You say, Lord, what happened? I thought you were taking this away. No, he carried it until you got to where you could carry it, and then you deal with it. That's how it works. But we want him to take it all away. You see, we've been given a fantasy gospel. It's a fantasy. And we want it to be, well, just tell Jesus, he'll fix it. And see, in our minds, because stuff has been so bad, we think the fix is going to be abracadabra. The fix is that he'll start giving you strength to deal with this, or he'll carry it until you get the strength. Then